The Dark Web chronicles Hollywood's hidden secrets. Jennifer had always been an up-and-coming actress in Hollywood, chasing her dreams under the bright lights of the city. She thought she had it all, a thriving career, a great agent, and a growing fan base. But everything changed one quiet evening when she received an anonymous email with the subject line, "They know you." At first, she assumed it was just another fan reaching out or perhaps a prank. Yet, as she opened the email, her pulse quickened. The message inside contained disturbing details about her life, things she had never shared publicly. Her phone number, her recent location, and even private fears she had only confided in close friends. The message read, "They've been watching, they know everything. You're not the first to fall into their trap, others before you have paid the price." Jennifer's heart skipped a beat as she stared at the screen. She had heard whispers in Hollywood about celebrities being stalked and blackmailed by anonymous figures on the dark web, but she never thought it would happen to her. The internet had always been a place of opportunity, a tool for success, but now it felt like a trap, one that she might have just stepped into. Who was they? She didn't know, but the threat felt real, and the unease that had begun to settle in her chest told her that this was just the beginning. Unable to ignore the growing dread, Jennifer's curiosity got the better of her. In a moment of desperation and fear, she decided to delve deeper into the dark web, determined to uncover the truth. What she didn't realize was that this decision would lead her down a dangerous path where stolen identities, hackers, and cyberstalkers were only the beginning. The deep web wasn't just a shadowy space, it was an organized network, one where even the most powerful figures in Hollywood could fall victim. Jennifer wasn't alone in this. Other stars, musicians, and producers had already been targeted, their lives held hostage by digital extortionists, all working under the cloak of anonymity. The deeper Jennifer ventured into this hidden digital realm, the more disturbing her discoveries became. She found herself on a forum dedicated to exposing the private lives of Hollywood's elite, a place where hackers openly traded stolen videos, confidential documents, and the most intimate secrets of the stars. The names on the list were chillingly familiar. Actors she had worked with, directors she admired, musicians she once considered role models, all had been compromised, their private lives sold in this underground market. What terrified Jennifer most, however, was realizing that she wasn't just reading about them, she was now part of the same world. Her private life, her career, her every move was being monitored. The realization hit hard, she had unknowingly walked into a trap. But this was more than just digital blackmail. As Jennifer dug deeper, she uncovered a terrifying conspiracy that stretched beyond just hackers and thieves. The people behind these online attacks weren't rogue criminals, they were part of a vast network embedded within the very heart of Hollywood. They weren't just stealing personal information, they were controlling careers, manipulating the narrative, and most shockingly, erasing those who tried to expose them. Jennifer had unknowingly become a pawn in a game that involved more power, influence, and wealth than she could ever have imagined. The figures operating in the shadows of Hollywood weren't simply anonymous hackers or rogue agents. Jennifer found herself face to face with an organized group connected to some of the most powerful figures in the entertainment industry. These individuals weren't just interested in money. They were interested in controlling Hollywood from behind the scenes, manipulating the stars, and erasing anyone who threatened to expose their reach. And now, Jennifer had become a target. She wasn't just another celebrity whose private data was at risk. She had uncovered a dangerous truth about those pulling the strings in Hollywood. They would stop at nothing to keep their secrets hidden. As Jennifer continued her investigation, the stakes grew higher. She realized that the power behind this operation wasn't just digital. These people had the means to control the narrative of the industry, to bury any information they deemed a threat. As the lines between the real world and the digital world blurred, Jennifer knew she had to act quickly. With the help of a rogue journalist who had infiltrated dark web networks, she began to piece together the larger picture. The digital blackmailers were only a small part of a much bigger conspiracy. Powerful executives, producers, and even political figures were all involved in using this network to maintain control over Hollywood's stars. But the deeper she went, the more dangerous the journey became. Jennifer started to receive threats not just through emails or anonymous messages, but through strange encounters in the real world. A mysterious figure followed her one evening after work, and her phone was hacked multiple times. She felt trapped, as if there was no way out. Every move she made seemed to be anticipated by someone who was always watching. She began to realize the full extent of what she had uncovered. It wasn't just her career at risk, it was her life. With the walls closing in, Jennifer made a desperate decision. She would have to expose everything, but she knew that doing so would come with a heavy price. The more she uncovered, the more she realized just how far-reaching this conspiracy went. Hollywood's elite, the powerful figures who controlled the industry, were all connected to this shadow network. The group behind the Spectre had the power to erase anyone who threatened to uncover the truth. Jennifer wasn't sure if she could survive this, but she knew one thing: she couldn't stop. She had to bring the truth to light, no matter the cost. In a final dramatic showdown, Jennifer gathered evidence and worked with her allies to expose the digital network that had been controlling Hollywood stars. But in a cruel twist of fate, just as the evidence was about to be made public, Jennifer received one last message. The figures behind the Spectre had already anticipated her move. They had been one step ahead all along, and as Jennifer clicked send on her final report, the screen went black. The message was gone, erased from existence. Jennifer was never seen again, her disappearance adding to the list of victims who had fallen prey to the Spectre's power. But her story didn't end there. The dark web she had uncovered was still alive, still operating behind the scenes, controlling the stars and manipulating the world's most influential people. The truth was out there, but some truths are meant to stay hidden, buried deep within the digital shadows.